we have the sits of the week. Now, last week we talked about Jameis Winston and Tom Brady being 2 sits of the week. Also, Ryan Tannehill, sits of the week. That was really good for us, at least at the quarterback position. We also had some sits of Zeke, Penny, and all Jets running backs against Cleveland. I would say that we pretty much hit all of that, and Texans running backs against Denver. Man, I did a lot better with the sits versus the starts of the week. And then we even had Shepard versus Carolina, Robbie versus, I don't even know who that says. I think it says Panthers, but Robbie Anderson is fourth place for the Panthers, whatever. Claypool, Titans wide receivers versus Buffalo. We had any Green Bay player or Chicago weapon, and that was almost true. And that was wide receivers, by the way. Allen Lazard did get in the end zone. And then Metcalf against San Francisco. I would say week 2 went very, very well for the sits of the week. So we're going to do sits of the week again, and we're going to start at the quarterback position. It's going to be Russell Wilson. We are putting our money down that Russell Wilson is going to struggle against San Francisco. First of all, San Francisco, physical defense. Russ seemed to have issues with San Francisco pretty much his entire career. When he was in Seattle, there were always the divisional battles, and it always seemed to be like a 14-10 game. And can't you just see that happening again with Denver still trying to figure out what in the world is going on? And so Russell Wilson, I think, is a big sit here. Also, another sit is going to be, again, the Tom Brady-Aaron Rodgers matchup, if possible. Tom Brady, you're going to be sitting him against Green Bay, who I think is a good enough defense. And Aaron Rodgers, if you have a different option. I mean, if you have a Derek Carr, if you have a Carson Wentz, I'm pivoting to those types of players who are going to be in a much better situation than playing in Aaron Rodgers against Tampa Bay, who seems to shut down offenses at this point. Tua Tagovailoa, you probably just picked him off of waivers if you're in redraft, but he plays against Buffalo, and Buffalo seems to be just destroying quarterbacks if possible. And so Tua, if you picked him up, keep him. He has weeks 4 through 10 are great matchups, but the problem is week 3 against Buffalo. He has the weapons to do it again against Tyreek Hill, it's Jalen Wallace, Mike Gesicki, it's even a little bit of Chase Edmonds out of the backfield. He has the weapons to do it against Buffalo to keep up some points. But it is scary. You can see what they did against Tennessee. You could see against what they did against the Rams. I would say, Tennessee, competent offense, and Rams, a very, very, very good offense. You could just see they just completely shut them down. And Buffalo's a scary team right now. I do not want to be playing them. And the next couple players are going to be just quick ones. Jameis Winston, against Carolina. He's injured. He just does not look good. And then Jimmy Garoppolo against Denver. See Russell Wilson. See what I said a minute and a half ago. It's going to be a low-scoring, ugly game, I think. And then the last one is going to be Trevor Lawrence against the Chargers. I think just Trevor Lawrence is going to be against a good Chargers defense that made Patrick Mahomes look human. And when you can make Patrick Mahomes look human, what are you going to do against Trevor Lawrence? It's going to be pretty ugly for Trevor Lawrence, unfortunately. Running backs, I am benching any New England running back against Baltimore. Baltimore seems to be horrible against the pass. So start your New England, I guess, pass weapons, which is pass receiving weapons. I can't believe I just said that against Baltimore. But they're good. They're decent against the run. So Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Harris, I'm just benching them right now. Josh Jacobs against Tennessee. Now, Josh Jacobs had a great game in week 2. Not a great game. He had a good game in week 2. I feel like this is going to be the matchup where you're going to have Raiders passing a ton against Tennessee, and they're just not going to run through Tennessee's teeth of their defense. Melvin Gordon against San Francisco. See what I said again, above. It's going to be low scoring. I want to start as a few players as possible out of this Denver and San Francisco game. And I feel like if Melvin Gordon is the RB2 on that team, which I believe truly he is, I just see a game where you're going to get 14 touches for 52 yards. And that's just not going to be great enough to have him start in fantasy. I'd try to pivot out of that if possible. And any of the Miami running backs against Buffalo, I don't think Miami is going to be like, hey, we're going to try to run through Buffalo. I think we're going to try to pass through Buffalo, and that's what they're going to try to do. And I think that maybe they'll succeed, maybe they won't. I said that Tua was a bench of the week. But again, Miami's running backs, I am not playing that game I don't want the 40% snap share of either one. That is going to be it's not going to be efficient enough. I mean, yeah, they can fall into the end zone, but that's just not what I'm looking for at this point. Wide receivers, there's a couple of them that we're going to be kind of repeating their names again. Juju Smith-Schuster, MVS, I almost said Marquez Valdez-Scantling. MVS. I said Tua Tagovailoa, all right, but man, I can't say MVS. MVS against Indianapolis. I know Indianapolis's defense did not look the greatest, but they're still a good defense. And against Indianapolis, I just feel like they're going to go through Kelsey. They're going to go do a little bit of CEH. And you're just going to get this sprinkled of 4 for 40, 4 for 40, 4 for 40, Hardman, Juju, and MVS. And it's just like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm benching that. Jerry Jeudy, Broncos against San Francisco. He's hurt, and he's against San Francisco, which is like a double whammy of I don't like that at all. Jarvis Landry against Carolina. Carolina is going to, I think this is going to get a good... I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. Jarvis Landry has now shown that Chris Olave has peeked in there and was like, hey, I want some of Jarvis Landry's touches. I don't think Jameis Winston can support 3 wide receivers on this team. Now, I know Alvin Kamara, that's going to be a big, if he's out for an extended time here, that might trickle in a little bit of Jarvis Landry, but against Carolina, I don't like it at all. And then the last one is going to be, in my opinion, any Pittsburgh wide receiver, any of them against Cleveland. They have ugly matchups on Thursday night. Actually, you are probably seeing this on a Friday. Well, comment if I did right on this. Chase Claypool, George Pickens, and Deontay is the best of the 3, but I don't believe in him. Pat Freiermuth, I will actually play, but this is again retrospect because this is Thursday. I mean, you can see the watch. It says Thursday. It's 101. It says Thursday, if you paused it. So hopefully I was right with that. I forgot that I'm recording this. I like to record both the stardom and sit-ems on Thursday. I should probably switch that. I don't want to post them both on Thursday. Nah, whatever. Well, brainstorm later. Sits of the week for tight ends. Robert Tonyan against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, good defense. Scary against Tonyan. So that's just something to know. Evan Ingram against the Chargers. I think the Chargers are just going to... they have such a great defense to cover the tight end and everything as well, too. They have some big safeties. So, Taysom Hill, if you're playing, again, against Carolina. Cole Kmet. Right now it's been Cole 0. Cole Donut. That didn't make sense, but whatever. Mike Gesicki against Buffalo. Same thing. And then all Vikings, Patriots, Broncos, Seahawks. Can I think of any other teams that want to be a part of this situation? Saints, because they have 2 tight ends. Two or more tight ends are just not. I don't want these tight end by committees. And when we're talking about them, I'm just going to bench them as much as I possibly can. All right. So again, this is Marcus with Dynasty Football Dads. Peace out. We will see you guys next week.